Hello everyone! It's not a secret that people who come to Cyprus the first time very surprised when they see the very ordinary and very similar architecture around. But today we show you the very special product. It is bespoke house which connect inside of themselves the unique design, very perfect location, very unique interior and ecological technologies which you can imagine for today. Let's go and see how it looks inside. To present you full information about this house in details, we decided to ask several questions from the main architect of this house. Please welcome Yannis. Yannis, this kind of houses is not usual for Cyprus actually, and it's a unique product. Tell me please, what inspired you for this design and what technology you use for create all these spaces?
This house is a house designed for friends. This is the second house we built for them, so we had the freedom because we know each other. We did not need to explore too much, and we were set free with a very good brief. The brief said the house must be as ecological as possible and should have all the corners and facilities to provide a very nice experience for people who live in. So we started with a plot. We selected the plot together, which is very important. I think the architect must be involved from the beginning, and not just the architect, our whole team. So we need our structural engineers and our mechanical, everybody. And first of all, we get the concept. This house should have an architectural presence to start with, but it should also have a minuscule, a very small carbon footprint. So it should be as ecological as possible. And for me, personally, that means it should have a nice flow. Because I think technology should disappear, should be behind the scenes, and people should be free to enjoy their life. For example, where we're sitting, there's a big garden that takes the prevailing winds that always come from the west in Paphos. So prevailing wind comes through the garden, then it goes on top of the swimming pool and gets even cooler, and goes through this space into the doors and disappears up in the double volume entrance. So that means this house has natural ventilation. They will never use air conditioning in the house. And this is not something to remember. It's just something you live. It's part of the experience. And also, as you go around, you have the sound accompanying you. It's the rustling leaves. It's the waterfall that we have designed. It's the water at the entrance. So it's a constant experience. We have a small gazebo inside the garden, which is the most favored corner of the garden. We spent a lot of time together with our clients here, and I think the result is we're very happy with the result. That's why we have won international awards for the house and the garden. I think it has enough recognition as it is. What can I say? I hope people enjoy it more and more, because there are many things to discover in each and every corner of the house.
The house is impressive, and the people who live there in this house, they are happy in total. I know the owners, but tell me please, what the favorite part of creation of this house? Is it garden or the shape of house or some elements of them?
There are some things that we tried for the first time. For example, we have this big sliding folding screen, which is the shades of the house. There's a conflict in houses like that with this amazing view, because the view of this plot is one of the
$10 million view.
It's one of the best views you can find in a plot in Cyprus. And the ideal thing would be to have full glass so that you can always enjoy the view. But unfortunately, then you turn your house into a glass house effect. The sun comes in and gets trapped, and then it's becoming very hot. So what we tried to do is we created this sliding folding screen, which is perforated. The shape is that you can see, especially visible at night. When the lights are on, then you can see it from the outside. This is protecting the glass, but at the same time it does not block the view. You can see parts of the view, a lot of the view, and at the same time you have the feeling that you are under a vine, under a pergola with a vine, under a tree, because even the shape of things on the panels is a digitization of a forest. So you can see it is visible at night. This is automatic. It has been arranged so that it moves according to the times and the time of the day. So when the sun is going past midday and then it comes on this corner, then the panels go and take care of that. I think that was one of the things that is unique for this house. Another thing is the design of the garden. The garden is designed as an ecosystem. So we took care of the insects. We have insect hotels. The birds, we have bird boxes. We water, we have all the elements.
Actually, about the garden, do you use some consultancy about the garden? Because the philosophy of garden, it's not usual for Cyprus at all. As we see, lots of gardeners is just cut the trees and put some water inside of the garden. Here is ecosystem. So who made it in Cyprus?
We had a number of specialists, and this happened not only for that, it happened for a number of things inside this house, this project, because the first thing we understand is the limitation of our knowledge. So we had Mr. Nikos Thimakis, who was our consultant for the garden. We started collaborating with him because he did some very nice work very close to Istanbul. There are some islands where there was a school, a religious school, and they were trying to make the garden there. And he went into the Bible and into the scripts, and he found out all the plants. He did a huge research, and he made the garden according to that. And I admired his dedication so much, so I said, this is my guy. So we brought him here and we said, we want that. We want our protected area, but we want it in a more friendly way for the people. So he combined all his knowledge about things. He did an excessive research on local plants in Cyprus. And then we also had a good team who planted the garden, who were always going around all the nurseries trying to find the correct species, almost like selecting a friend. Mm-hmm. So each and every plant was selected manually, and I was there, Nick was there, and we were all coordinating the whole thing. That's why I have this result.
So all these plants, they are from Cyprus, or you use some plants out of Cyprus and brought it to Cyprus?
They are local. The only thing we allowed is we allowed some Mediterranean source for the plants, because we could not find, let's say, for example, we had terebinth trees. We also replanted some of the trees that we salvaged from development. So we had a plot somewhere else where, because of the new building, they had to cut the trees, and we said, no. Let them be. And we had another consultant, a very experienced man in replanting, who helped us replant. We have something like 10 trees that were salvaged and put here. It took them a while to grow roots again, but now they're thriving and they're quite a success.
Perfect. Tell me please about the water, because all house is around the water. Water inside of the house, water outside of the house, in the garden. It's like, looks like the lake which you build the house, but it's artificial. And what technology you use and what vision you use for the water?
The vision started from the idea of natural cooling, because as I said before, the air that enters the house goes on top of the pool through evaporation, it gets colder, and then it comes in like a natural air conditioning system. There were other items as well. The other idea was because my friends and clients had spent a long time in Hong Kong, they wanted something that had a good feng shui. Feng shui is very happy with water. Water at the entrance, water in front, and water wherever you can. So this matched our expectation, and this is how the whole thing was combined. And it's a very nice element to see. It's always soothing.
Some people who move to Cyprus, they decide that water is very expensive here in Cyprus. And to use it like this in the house, it will be very expensive bills. But is it not true in this case? Because you use water from whole house and there is like circulate around different things.
We decided that we do not waste anything. And the first thing we do not waste is waste of the house. So the sewage system is connected to a sewage treatment plant, and all this water is used for irrigation. And it's also used for the cisterns in toilets. We don't have any other use because it would be much too expensive if we went into another level of treatment. But we don't waste a drop of water. So the whole water of the house is reused again. And we make sure that we do things as naturally as possible. So we have the path that goes down, there's a stream on either side of the path. The water that cascades down is the same water of the gazebo. So it's aerated without the use of any other machines or equipment. So everything is as natural as much as possible with a nice flow. You can feel the coolness. You don't know why it is there, but the important thing it's there. Technology and knowledge is to help, not to make a statement on itself.
No, it looks like the ancient technologies of Feng Shui and eco technologies for using very sensitive water and area. It works for the natural cooling, and it works much more better than air conditioning or something like this.
Yes, and conserves energy, and it does all of that.
What about the interior design? As I know, you use your family in this project, your daughter and other parts of your family. Tell me please about the interior design. What inspired for this design, and which materials you use for this?
Yeah, the interior design first of all had to do with materials. The flooring is mainly timber, because timber gives you a nice warm feeling. After what I explained before, I think it's an obvious choice. If you want to be natural, you walk on wood. This is as natural as can be. And the second thing is we played a lot with how the materials react and how materials can do a composition that brings nature back to you and, of course, look good. For example, this stone that we clad the building with is from a marble called Cipollino, that is in Italian for the small onion, because it has a very wavy pattern. We separated in strips of more or less the same color, and we put them in lines, so we created this effect. Mm-hmm. This gives the idea that this is a stone building. The same applies for the lighting. We're mad about lighting, because we believe that lighting is what can destroy the atmosphere of a house, or it can make it look like $1 million. And we're very sensitive with that. We've been working with lighting quite a lot for many, many years now. Of course, not alone. As with everything else, we have consultants with that. We even went into the factory, it was in Guccini, Italia, most of the light fittings, and we requested some special modifications to the things. So we had a big discussion with many experts in order to create the ambience that the house finally has. And I think the basic ambience is when everything is open and you see the upstairs floors as if you're in an airplane, as if you're flying in the sky.
Great. Let's speak about the way of creation of the house. If someone from people who move to the island come to you and ask you to create house for them, what it will be the steps?
Okay. First of all, I need to say that we never design the same house twice. We don't use almost any element from one house to the other, because especially of houses of this caliber, we want them to be unique. The second is we go and do extensive research and feeling of the land. So we go and stay there, practically stay there for days, so we can see when the wind is coming, how the sun is rising, how it sets, what are the properties of the plot and all that. Then we start designing the first ideas. The second thing is, not the second, a parallel thing is we discuss with clients. We don't ask just how big the house must be. We ask things about their lifestyle. For example, do they have big parties? Do they like to cook? Because according to the answers to these questions, the house should be...
They form the spaces.
They form the spaces. Of course, there's a little catch. The architect must understand, and by experience, I think we do understand that what people describe is what they had so far. We need to stretch it a bit more, so we offer an even better experience than what they give us. And I think that works very well. Then what we do is of course, we examine all the legal issues, plot density and heights and all of that. And we come up to the first design, and then we try to discuss it in detail. We try to tell people, let us walk through our design. So we explain, you go like this, you enter the house, your first impression is this, and then so on. For example, this house, there was a common decision that they wanted serenity at night. So the master bedroom is on the top level with its own planted garden on the roof. That was a decision. It's the best possible place in the house where there's no obstacle. You have 180 degrees and more of views and all of that. So it's a number of collaboration with understanding nature, understanding structure, understanding materials. We always do sketches and simulations of lighting, materials, and all of that, so that people slowly try to get a common language with the inhabitants. Of course, this is not what what is usually done by a developer. This is a bespoke house, so it's a house which is designed around specific people.
What timeline about the time? How many times they need to create this house from the scratch, from the plot, until the end?
We can finish the design in a matter of a few months, but then we have the process of getting all the permits, which is depends. Now there's a big change in Cyprus. The authorities have changed, so there's a new mechanism anyway, which is new, so we don't know yet how it will happen. The case is that you get a permit in 20 days, but we're not sure about that. It's not.
Yeah, now it's like half of the year before these changes.
Correct. And right after that, it's at least a year and a half, at least, to start with, and then to finish the house. Because houses which are demanding as this need time. The saying is, I think the Americans say that it's money, it's time and quality.
Yeah, you need to choose from this
select the
triangle.
two and forget the third one.
Yeah, that's right.
So it is practical like that. I think it's a very clever saying. So it's a matter of balancing all these things together.
Great, thank you. To create a bespoke house, it's really unique job which needs unique team. If you're planning to build unique house in Cyprus, just let us know and make consultation with us. If you want to get the fresh information about living and investment in Cyprus, subscribe to our channel and see you on a sunny island.